She stood in her wedding dress, seconds away from walking down the aisle, and then she heard the voicemail. Her whole world shattered. But what she did next left every guest speechless and him begging for forgiveness. This is a story of betrayal, strength, and sweet, unforgettable revenge. Stick around till the end, you won't believe how it all ends. And if you love stories of resilience and justice, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more emotionally powerful tales. Emily Hayes had always believed in fairy tales. The kind where the girl meets a charming boy, falls in love, and they ride off into a blissful forever. That's exactly how she felt about Jason Carter, the man she thought was her soulmate. He was everything she thought she wanted, successful, charming, and attentive in all the right ways. Their relationship had begun with a whirlwind romance, late-night walks, surprise flowers, deep conversations, and dreams about building a life together. When he proposed under a sky full of stars with her favorite song playing, she cried tears of joy. Everyone said they were perfect together. But no one really knew what went on behind closed doors. Behind Jason's charming smile was a man with secrets, secrets that would come crashing down only minutes before Emily was to say, "I do." The sun poured golden light through the stained glass windows of the historic church. Every pew was filled. Family, friends, colleagues, they were all there, waiting, smiling, whispering in excitement. The string quartet was rehearsing the processional. Her father was waiting by the entrance, ready to walk her down the aisle. Emily stood in her dressing room, staring at herself in the mirror. She looked stunning, her dress flowing like silk waves, her makeup flawless, her smile radiant. But inside, her stomach churned with nerves. She chalked it up to normal pre-wedding jitters. That's when her phone buzzed. She wasn't supposed to check it. Her bridesmaids had taken it away earlier to keep her relaxed. But someone, her cousin Mia, had handed it back, just in case. One new voicemail. From her best friend, Tasha. Frowning, Emily pressed play. What she heard made her knees buckle. "Emily, I don't know how to tell you this. But you need to know the truth before it's too late. I overheard Jason talking to his brother last night. He said he doesn't really love you, he's just marrying you because it's good for his image. He's been seeing someone else, 4 months. A woman named Chelsea. I'm so sorry. Please don't go through with this without knowing. You deserve so much better." Silence. Emily stood frozen, heart racing, breath shallow, the blood draining from her face. Her dream had turned into a nightmare in one voicemail. Her bridesmaids burst in, all smiles, "Time to walk, Em." But the smile on her face was gone. She turned slowly, her voice calm. "I need 10 minutes. Alone." In those 10 minutes, Emily cried. Screamed. Punched a wall. Shook with betrayal. But then something inside her snapped. Not broken, no. Awakened. For the first time in their entire relationship, she saw Jason for who he truly was. She remembered the red flags she had ignored, the long business trips, the vague explanations, the emotional distance, the way he always twisted her words when they argued. She had loved blindly. But not anymore. She wasn't going to be humiliated, not today. Not ever. She wiped her tears. Reapplied her lipstick. Straightened her veil. And with a calm fury that could only come from a heart shattered and reforged in seconds, she stepped out of the room. The aisle walk, to war. The music began. Everyone rose. She walked arm in arm with her father, smiling, calm, composed, beautiful as ever. Jason stood at the altar, looking smug and proud, as if he'd just won a prize. When Emily reached the front, the priest asked the guests to be seated. And then, just before the ceremony began, she raised her hand. "I'd like to say something before we start." The priest hesitated. Jason blinked. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. Emily turned to face the guests. I want to thank you all for being here today. It means so much to see all your faces as I begin this next chapter of my life. But, she paused, taking a breath, I've just been informed of something deeply important. She pulled out her phone, opened the voicemail, and pressed play on the microphone. The entire church fell silent. Gasps. Stunned looks. Jason's face turned ghost white. Emily turned to him, her voice ice cold. You could have told me. You could have walked away. But instead, you played with my heart for months. For your image. He stuttered. Emily, this isn't what. She raised a hand again, silencing him. I may have been a fool in love, but I'm not a fool anymore. And then, smiling, she pulled her bouquet from her hands and threw it, not to the bridesmaids, but straight at his chest. I hope Chelsea likes liars. And with that, she walked out. Head held high. The guests didn't know what to do, until one by one, they began clapping. Then cheering. Her father followed her out. The wedding was over, but Emily's story had just begun. In the weeks that followed, Emily went viral. A guest had recorded the moment, the voicemail, the walkout, the thrown bouquet. It was all over the internet. Bride exposes cheating groom during wedding in epic fashion. Instead of shame, Emily was met with overwhelming support. Thousands of messages flooded in, from women and men who had been betrayed, manipulated, or taken for granted. She used her voice to tell her story, on podcasts, interviews, social media. She launched a blog about self-worth, healing, and relationships, which quickly grew into a global community. Months later, she opened her own support foundation for people recovering from emotional trauma and toxic relationships. And love? Well. 1 year later, at a charity gala she hosted, Emily met someone new. A quiet, kind-hearted volunteer named Alex. He wasn't flashy, but he showed up, in small, consistent, deeply meaningful ways. He didn't sweep her off her feet. He walked beside her, step by step. And one day, when he asked her to marry him, she didn't hesitate. Sometimes, the greatest heartbreak can become the beginning of your strongest story. Emily's revenge wasn't loud or cruel, it was powerful. She chose herself. She walked away with her dignity, her courage, and her truth. And in doing so, she inspired thousands. If you're ever betrayed, remember, you have every right to start over, stronger than ever.